Today is January 21st. Been below zero multiple nights, and this week coming up is going to be one of the coldest, probably the coldest of the year. Multiple below zero. For us in zone 6, that's getting close to as cold as it gets. And the last of the persimmons are still on the trees, and they're still delicious. They really are. They start at around mid-20s to maybe 30% sugars, and so now, with most of the water having evaporated, they're probably pushing 60% sugar, and they can't really freeze at that temperature. I mean, they get below freezing temperature, but they don't crystallize that much. So they stay soft because they're so high in sugar. And for these basically dried persimmon raisins to be sort of still falling from the trees at this time of year is an incredible benefit for wildlife, including people who are out here doing work outside in the middle of the winter and getting a snack. And if I were lost in the woods and I came across one of these trees, it could save my life. So having these strategically, well, maybe not even strategically, just sort of everywhere in the landscape seems like a really great thing. And I wanted to highlight something that I thought was pretty hilarious. Actually, 4 trees have these black walnuts tucked up in the crotch of 3 branches. 2 persimmons, an apricot, and a peach. And it is from squirrels leaving the nuts in the tops of the branches, which I thought was hilarious. I mean, I don't know, we're sometimes motivated to come up with a reason for why animals do what they do, and maybe they don't use the same kind of logic that we do. Maybe one could describe what they do in evolutionary terms, but I also think there's just sort of a interesting, somehow poetic angle to it of, yeah, cool fruit tree, but let's get some nuts in here too. And so I'm gonna take that as a sign. There's some empty spaces on the north end of this field, and nut trees are going to be populating those spaces in the spring. So anyway, just wanted to share a little bit of how great this persimmon grove is doing. This guy is almost entirely, everything's almost fallen. There's a few left, but really, as far as a wildlife tree, I can't think of a better one right now. But there really is not any best one, but for this time of the year, it's so important. And this does speak to how supremely well some of these native trees are adapted to this region. There's not much else that you can find in terms of really high carbohydrate dense foods just out in the forest on the trees, dropping to the ground at this time of year. It can probably get all sorts of wildlife through the hard times of the year. And you combine that with how easy they are to grow, how amenable they are to different soil types, how competitive they are in a low care or even no care context, and you're hard pressed to find something more worthwhile to plant, whether it's on public land or on land that you own, or really anywhere that it's